v.h.s.x? What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I wanted to have a discussion about Dead by Daylight's Quality of Life initiative that they just dropped. DVD has not been in a great place lately, so let's just dive in.
Thank you for joining us here in our live streaming space. This is not a live stream, but we've recorded this for you rather than throwing another big wall of text at you. We thought that would be better to see us face to face, and instead of spend our time apologizing, actually spend our time talking about some actions we're going to take to make things better in the world of DBD. So we brought on our executive producer, Jose.
Instead of apologizing, why not just do better? I mean, the behavior has had a history of failures for years, and why they don't just do better is beyond me. I really don't understand. I mean, I think that a lot of the issues that arise are very simple with solutions and stuff like that. I mean, for example, the kill switch issue could have easily been avoided, as I've said many times in different videos. If we had just used the kill switch more liberally to remove the bug from the game, it at least will allow for a better public perception, to at least show that you at least seem like you care. You don't necessarily have to at this point, because this is behavior we're talking about. But at least if you seem like you care, at least it will at least show that to the rest of the player base. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, they don't decide to make actual good quality changes. So continue. All right, so let's quickly just run over the phases here. So third bug fix patch, which I think just dropped recently. Postpone PTB to early September. Perfectly fine. I'm not sure why this wasn't always the case, and why they decided to claim that they had a initiative coming and they never actually did it. I don't know. I guess now with enough backlash, they finally decide to actually do that, to focus on bug fixing. Supposedly. All right, supposedly. We don't know for sure. We don't even know what they're going to change. We obviously don't have much information on that. We can only hope that it actually is going to fix the massive issues that the game has. Who knows? It says fixing of higher priority and impact killer issues. I would love to see this, honestly. There has been so many bugs that popped up for the killers. It's actually insane. And the list goes on and on and on and on. I think there was actually a thread on Twitter that people were using to document all of it. The Shape gameplay update. Honestly, I'm concerned for Myers. I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, in my opinion, I think they really did capture the feeling of playing as Myers, the Shape in DBD, and I'm not sure how they're going to adjust that. I don't know how they're going to make him any stronger. They might make him better. They might make him stronger. Who knows? Which is great, but also a damn shame, because obviously there's other low tiers that are still have been untouched for a very long time. I think Ghostface is a perfect example of that. One of the most low tier, bottom of the barrel, right next to Trapper and Skull Merchant respectively, has not been really touched at all. I mean, all we had gotten was a side grade, and that was it. Did not affect Ghostface's strength at all, so waste of time for everybody. And the slugging, tunneling, and camping update. Now, behavior has mentioned that these are strategies that people use in order to create pressure and things like that. It's purely strategic, despite the constant complaints from the casual audience. At least behavior is fully aware that these are things that people need to do in order to actually play their game. It's unfortunate, you know what I mean? But it just kind of happens that way. Otherwise, you just end up just losing every single game. So that's kind of its own topic. I've already kind of covered that many times in the past, and you always kind of hear the same recycled arguments in return. So, you know, it's very hard. It requires its own video to discuss. And then for phase 3, we have the quality of life focus March release. We can only hope it does. Fixing of high priority impact. So they're really trying to just copy paste the fixing of issues, right? Supposedly fixing of issues, supposedly for the next like couple of months here, supposedly, right? Supposedly. Now, chances are they're probably not going to actually do that. Who knows? And obviously they also have the MMR rework prestige and all of that stuff. Honestly, probably not going to see that for like another year. who knows? So let's continue.
A response to something I hear a lot in the community, which is behavior, slow down on the content and fix your game. So I think we're going to do that.
Yeah, so
I don't know why it took them so long to try to do that. And like I've said, I don't imagine that they're going to be that successful. I mean, they could, but obviously with their track record, you know, I tried to give behavior a lot of credit back in the maybe a few months ago, but after seeing how they've handled a lot of these things, I really do not have high hopes for what they're capable of actually doing. Not good so far, not great, but we just have to see. I mean, what else can we do, really?
And that's a big deal. That's a big difference between killer are very resource heavy in order to make them at the quality level we want them to be. And so not having a killer free up an amount of resource and space, which is going to bring so much focus on, again, bug fixing, on gameplay issues, long-lasting gameplay issues, and on quality of life. So it's going to give us more bandwidth than ever in order to make this a large focus.
Well, it seems that we finally have an understanding as to why killers are never getting any good updates. I gotta say, I think that's probably why. We just got a little bit of a nugget of information, because I know that behavior is very careful what they say verbally, and I can imagine that by takes a lot of resources to actually update killers and actually have a good killer release and stuff like that. Might explain why they're so slow to fix killers and to actually update the killers or to buff them or do anything like that, because as you can imagine, that it's apparently a lot of resources. You know, that's the most we're getting off of this. It's not much of anything, obviously. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign, but it's something, right? It's at least an answer to maybe why we get so many slow updates and why we barely get anything for killers at this point. Like, it's very slow when we actually see any good changes, and then a lot of the time they'll end up just kind of reverting, you know, very good changes as well. So this is unfortunate, but we're gonna see.
One is the MMR matchmaking rating revamp. So this one is quite important. Doing the matchmaking correctly is something which matters a lot for players to have a good experience. And we have done quite extensive user research discussion with our consultant and content creators, and we think we need more design iterations in order to be where we want to be. So releasing it before the end of the year, we will not have been confident with bringing a solution which is going to be something that our players love. So that's one.
Yeah, and I've actually heard it discussed internally of what we were working on was an MMR update. Yep. With the feedback we got on what we did for the MMR update, it's now really much more of a revamp.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I will not go into too much of the details right now. That will take.
It is a shame that we don't really get at least an idea of what the MMR may look like or may sound like, but you know, high hopes that because they have spoken to consultants, that they have spoken to content creators, that they have spoken to people that have like countless hours on the game, I would imagine have the better opinion, I would say a more accurate opinion as to how the game could go and how the game could function compared to somebody who plays extremely casually or every once in a while. These people are devoted a lot of the time. They're very dedicated to the game, and they want to see everybody have an enjoyable experience when playing the game. So I gotta say, at least they say that they're trying to speak with these people and stuff like that. I don't know if that is actually going to pan out.
The two other topics are perk preview in the lobby. So that's also been a conversation as part of the first quality of life effort. We showcase the perk preview for yourself in the lobby. But of course, one of the big conversations is, can I see the perks of the people I'm playing with as a survivor? Mm-hmm. And we will bring that in the game, in match, in the March release as well.
In match, but probably not in the lobby.
No, we will assess the reaction, because there is a risk of toxicity which comes with this feature in terms of lobby dodging, etc. We want people to still being able to have fun and experiment with their perk setups and loadouts. So we will determine.
I don't really think that not being able to see it in the lobby, but also being able to see it in the match kind of seems a bit pointless. I mean, like, to an extent, it does make some sense, but that also means that you're most likely going to have to hit the escape key or something like that to try to scroll over to where your teammate's at, just so you can see what perks there are. Seems like it'd be kind of annoying, I would imagine, because just kind of going off of what behavior has given us in the past. I mean, I'd imagine it's just I do kind of understand that they're trying to avoid the lobby dodging and stuff like that, and I really do think that it kind of comes to the territory with a game like this. Like, there is a lot of issues with randomness, maps, and whether if you're playing on Survivor, the killer you're up against, or if you're playing killer, it's the teams you're going up against, or at least the survivors are up against as well. There's a lot of randomness and a lot of aspects that do make the game very unfun. So lobby dodging is definitely something that they definitely have an eye on, especially when it comes to the P100s. Like, that was another thing that people were just really afraid. I've heard a lot of players claim that they were very afraid of the P100s in the lobbies and stuff like that. They would like just immediately leave because they thought they would be like good at the game or sweaty, which I never encountered that personally. I would go against a variety of P100 players that were at varying skill levels. Sometimes they were very bad, sometimes they were pretty decent, sometimes they were good. It really was just kind of a guess, just like any other level, really. So it makes sense that they're probably trying to focus on not having people lobby dodge, which is not super ideal, but it would be nice, I would say, if we had another quality of life change where we can actually see who's in a Swift. And I don't know if them displaying that information would be against their idea of lobby dodging, which most likely it would be, because I'm pretty sure a vast majority of killer players are not interested in going against a 4-man team with comms. So honestly, they're probably never going to add that, because of the fact that they are already claiming that there's already going to be some type of toxicity if you're able to see the perks in the lobby screen. So chances are we're not going to be able to get that, and we're just going to still have a lot of friction when it comes to trying to figure out if it's a Swift or not. Honestly, my final thoughts on this so far, I gotta say, man, I don't know. It's I don't know. I just find it very difficult to want to trust the response from behavior at this point. I mean, like, they've already they showed their hand. They showed us that they don't care. They showed us a lot of things in this past couple of days at this point. And honestly, I would have to say we just kind of have to take it all with a grain of salt. And if you're choosing not to play the game, you're probably on the right track. Just don't play the game if you don't want to play the game. Especially if you're a killer player, man. It's looking bad for us, you know what I mean? But either way, final thoughts, man. It's just, we just got to see what we get. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube things for me. While you're down there, check out those links to support the channel. Consider following on Twitch and the TikToks for the clips. And yeah, consider joining the Patreon or becoming a member on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video.